Hello.
Oh, hey.
Good wherever,
Good
whatever
day.
time. Yeah.
Good day.
I think we can land on that. Good day. Whatever that day is that you're watching this. Good day. We're feeling it. We're in November.
Hey, Mark.
My nose. Oh,
sorry.
dude.
It's just me.
Super jealous of Mark right now.
Yeah.
He gets to go listen to one of the best Christian voices in the...
Baller.
Mark's listening to N.T. Wright. If you don't know who that is, New Testament scholar. Woo!
Yeah. Someone was
Look
talking
up
about
some of his stuff.
Someone was talking about it yesterday at church, and Ron Wilson, and I was like, Mark gets to go watch him, and he was like, what?
What?
I was like, yeah. He's like, that's
What?
so amazing. So, yeah, it's awesome. But we're happy to be here with you. We talked yesterday about gratitude, and at the risk of...
Do you throw up your hands? Praise him again and
throw
again?
up my hands. That's why I'm not on the worship team. So we talked about gratitude yesterday, and I think it's a good one-off topic. Like Mark talked, we talked a little bit about it, why, and some of the women, including his wife and including my wife, I saw some of the texts. So sorry, women, you've got spies in your midst that are out here sending them around. No, and it was refreshing for me to read, just to see the kind of the focus on being thankful and being gratitude. And that's another thing. I swear this may have been a dream. It's that time of the year where I'm like, stuff's starting to run together, where it was a conversation about gratitude and like thankfulness and kind of like what's the difference. And in my mind, this is the Micah definition. Gratitude has this connotation of being content. And so gratitude is not just like, oh, I'm thankful. So like, if I were to get a raise, I'm going to be thankful, but I'm hoping next year I get another raise. Woo. Gratitude has this connotation of like, I'm grateful for what you have done for me, Lord, and that's all I need. I don't need more. I'm not going to ask for more because I'm grateful for who you are and what you've done for me. And so gratitude, and it's not that you wouldn't want more blessings from the Lord, whatever.
Sure. But
gratitude has this connotation of, this is enough, and I mean that. Yeah. Like, I asked for this, and you gave me this, and that's enough.
100%.
And so I love that word as opposed to thankfulness, and we use them kind of interchangeably. It's not perfect, but it's close. And so I love that was his reasoning for wanting to do it. Yeah. It wasn't because of Thanksgiving season, but it does kind of go hand in hand with that.
We are here.
A little more of a thankful people in November because the government says it's a holiday.
The end of the year, the thankfulness, the rise of thankfulness. Yeah. Whether it's voluntary or involuntary.
Then it's back to me in January.
That's exactly right.
No, I thought I really enjoyed the focus on being grateful in every moment and in every opportunity, and that passage of scripture of give thanks in all moments. In all situations. And I think like his illustration was very simple, yet very relative to us of like, when I opened the door, I saw rain. We do tend to grasp onto negative. We tend to think, oh gosh, I got to wipe my dog's feet off when they come inside or whatever. And I think about it with kids and how, man, I don't really know. And I'm going to reveal a little bit about myself. I don't really know the last time I truly was grateful to the Lord for my kids.
Shoo.
Yeah. Because I just get so clouded with the frustrations or the sicknesses or whatever, and it's like, even in those moments of where the selfish me is like, this makes my life a little bit harder in this moment. It's like, you know what? People all around the world beg for kids that never will have them or can't have them, or they lose their kids, and I'm here whining and complaining about a runny nose or the fact that I had to wake up early, and it's like, man, that kind of checked me a little bit of like, why don't you be grateful?
Yeah.
Why don't you at least spend a moment and go, you know what, Lord, I'm thankful for this kid that made me wake up early.
Yeah.
It just means I get to drink coffee earlier.
That's exactly it. That's right.
But I think it's a
brew a little bit early.
That kind of hit me when he was talking about that. Was that like, man, it's like, it's kind of a poor attitude to have, and he was describing himself like, look at all these great things I have. And I'm sitting there going like, I woke up, I didn't have a migraine and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, golly, like different form, but I'm like, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, you see it. I mean, it's switching your thought. I think that last night when we were teaching at the youth,
shout out
about prayer. Shout out. That's the thing that hit me the most was the Isaiah 55 passage. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. Yep. My thoughts are higher. And as I was writing that I mean, just nothing. And the Lord spoke well in that little message, but man, to me, it was like that one was like, Lord was like, this one's for you. This isn't for them. This one's for you.
Yeah, you can teach it if you want, but I'm just telling you
exactly.
this. So I don't really care what you do with it, as long as you take it and put it in your heart.
That one was just up my alley. Like it was just the idea that again, I don't work like you. And we often want to, when we are discontent or things are going wrong, what we want is we want to grab God's robe and just bring him down here. Yeah. Like if he's up there, which like that's a bad theological image, but that's kind of how he's up there. Yeah. We're here. We want to grab him down and be like, hey, get down here, fix this, do this, give me this, make this person like scream and blah. Yeah. Yeah.
And even the like you said, it's bad theology, but it's also still relates really well because we so often screw up and don't think about God actually being present within us. We think of him maybe not up, but just out. Like he is at a rope's end,
Get
and I'm
over
going to pull
here.
him to me in a moment of crisis.
That's right.
Or even if I'm going to give thanks, I've got to bring him here so I can give thanks.
That's right.
And that is bad theology, and that's often us.
Yes.
And even me knowing the answer in my perfect theology. No, even knowing the answer of his presence, I don't always live that way. Yeah. Like I don't always live knowing, I'm looking at a book on that shelf over there, renewed in his presence. I don't often live renewed in his presence. The old me that is dead, I allow to kind of come back in and say, man, I know that Jesus is in my life, but I really need him here.
Yes.
And things like that, like even like in church services, people say like, you're welcome here, Lord. It's like, well, yeah, but he is already here. Woo! Like, Lord, we want you to come to, like, well, he's already here.
Yeah, and it does get weird because we're inviting you here, but
presence.
It's more of, hey, I just want to open the doors to my heart to you.
Yeah.
But we view it as, you're not even here.
Exactly.
Like, get it. Yeah.
Come in the room, yeah.
But man, that's just the thing with gratitude. It's God is trying to do something so different than what we think and what we understand. And we want him to come and fix all these things, and rightfully, and he does.
Yeah.
But how he does that is what he's saying in Isaiah is, I'm not coming down, or I'm not coming to you at your will, at your beckoning, so that I fix all these things.
Right.
Is what's going to fix it is I'm going to call you to where I am. And oftentimes the example that I gave was like Jesus's idea of pray for your enemies. Like what happens when somebody does get under your skin or you find out that they're talking smack about you, that lights you up. And so what do? We want to go and we want to start talking to others. We want to rally other people around our cause and be like, dude, this person is awful. Hate them with me.
Yeah.
And Jesus is like, no. Pray for those who persecute you. Now that is a form of stepping into God's ideas more than us. And so as we're walking around in our direction and navigating our life, gratitude is one of those things that God, I think it does fit that Isaiah 55 of come to where I am. Hey, what happens if you, and I remember the story of Joseph. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to a podcast this morning about these two guys who were talking about Joseph, and they said this really interesting thing, but Joseph is an Israelite.
Excuse you.
Thank you. Gesundheit. Joseph is an Israelite. He gets taken down to Egypt. Mm-hmm. Odds are Joseph does not know Egyptian. He has no idea how to speak the language. How in the world is he going to be number 2 in command if he can't even speak the language to people? So what is Potiphar's house? What is prison? What are these moments that he is getting good things and he's getting really bad things? All of these things lead up to his spot as what God has placed him there to do. Yeah. Lead and save Egypt from the famine.
And Joseph selfishly in every one of those spots, I mean, I think there's some recording, but what we don't have, there's probably a lot of, Lord, what are you doing?
Yes.
Why would you give me brothers that would sell me into slavery?
100%.
And then, he gets to the quote unquote end result of our narrative. It's not the end of his life, but the end result. And he's like, oh. And I feel like he probably quoted the Isaiah passage without knowing Isaiah yet. Like without Isaiah being around of like, sorry, God, your ways are better than mine. My bad.
Dude.
And it's so hard for us to live in that. We are just not, I don't want to generalize, but we're just generally not a trusting.
Yeah.
because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And that's me saying that knowing.
And that's Christianity. Christianity, my buddy says it the best way, is like Christianity, when you become a Christian, the rest of your life is just learning how to trust God more and more and more and more and more. That's it. And you're just learning how to give him more and give him more. But you get to that moment where Joseph's brothers come back and they're just like terrified when they realize it's Joseph. And he said, this isn't your doing. You didn't put me here. You thought you did.
Yeah.
God put me here. And all the things that happened. And I had a moment like this a few years ago when I was walking a younger guy through family issues. And the worst part of my life was growing up in the brokenness of my household and then the eventual divorce of my parents. And so that rocked me. And for years, that anger, everything consumed me. And I had this it's just one of those moments that I think God gives you in life that just, you taste the water so clear and you just it was just one of those. And I think God gives all of us like a handful of these throughout our life that are just boom, like, I see it immediately. There's no processing it and all. But I'm sitting across the table at this first watch from this kid. I'll never forget it. And I literally was just like, and he's walking through almost the exact same thing. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, man, this is how crazy God works. That I'm actually thankful that God put me and walked me through every ounce of that so that I could sit across this table. Like that was the most extreme form of gratitude I've ever felt within me, was this moment of, wow, never in a million years, I've cursed God so many times for all of those years growing up. And I found myself in this moment being like, God really does take what the enemy meant for evil and turns it to good. And it's never going to be the way you think because his ways are higher.
Yeah.
How can how can God take...
Cap
G, big G, little odd. How can God take something so terrible as the splitting of a family and in a couple years of walking through life through one person be like, dang.
And that initial question,
thank you.
Thank
you for that.
It is the unbelief, because it's a genuine.
Woo!
It's how can you
help, Lord? I believe, but help. Oh, that's good.
It literally is. The question is not this abstract. Well, how can he do this? Well, because he's got it's literally how can you do it? Because I can't see it. Well, the Lord, that's what he's saying, is my ways are higher. I can see it. I've already seen it happen. It hasn't happened, but I've seen it happen. Bro. And that's the same thing. It's different. It's not a family issue, but my anxiety stuff, and I, to this day, I consider myself healed from it.
Sure.
And I literally think it was caused to me for two specific people in my life back in Jamestown.
Bro.
That I was able to really walk alongside with and literally finish sentences with them of the same experiences. And I legitimately, in hindsight and looking back, I'm like, I wonder if I would still have it if I lived there. Not because of there, but just because I had those people in my life and would still be able to relate and communicate with them. And now it's I'm removed from that. And it's God's like, all right, you don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
It's I'll heal you from it now because you don't have, and I still have the ability with students to share history, and I'm still there. But you're absolutely right. And now I think back, at the time, I've never thanked God once for all those panic attacks and going to the ER right before I preached the sunrise sermon, and never did. But now I look back, I'm like, man,
when you have a moment, when you have a moment where you can relate to somebody new, and I think we have a line for this, right? There's purpose in the pain. There's purpose in the pain. But that insinuates that's saying that, oh, God is causing me to have panic attacks. That doesn't sound like God whatsoever.
Or even a self, you're going to be better, stronger, whatever.
Oh, yeah. He's using this to teach you. And that's
Phil 4:13.
Right. That's I have strength.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All things through Christ.
I can jump over that.
That's right. Anyway. I could do that. But I don't, yes, I get the sentiment, but we've taken that as okay, God's going to cause this. God's not causing panic attacks. Nope. The sentence should be, there can be purpose in the pain if you let it. Mm-hmm. And what that means is, yes, this thing is happening for a variety of reasons. Sometimes we know from the Bible, God does afflict people. Himself, he'll tell his angels, go afflict that person. Yep. Other times, it's just the world being sinful. Other times, it's people being sinful. Other times, it's Satan's hand just doing his thing.
Let's not be remiss here. Like, sometimes Satan is attacking.
Sometimes he is. Whatever
and
I
think we should say often he is.
There can be purpose in that pain, and that purpose will walk you into, one, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. It does.
Doesn't kill you make you stronger.
Come on, Kelly. Oh, wait, is that Jessie J? No, that's Kelly. That's Kelly Clarkson. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Kelly Craft. I don't know.
She did write that song. But that's gratitude. It is finding those moments of pulling yourself up to God's ways and God's higher, of taking broken things, and that's what he wants to do. His work of transformation is all he wants us to partake in that. He wants us to be transformed, and then you look at somebody, hey, I had the same exact experience. For my whole life, I feel like I'm not an anxious person. And 2023 to 24, I had one of the most anxiety-ridden. And now I look at people, and I scoffed at people. I was like, anxiety?
Yeah, I was a pull up your bootstraps kind of person. Get over it.
I don't have that. After that year, I will never look at somebody who's feeling anxiety and depression and be like, get over it. It's like, no, I know that life, and I'm so sorry. And here, let's talk. Like, that's what he does. And it sucks in the moment, but now you're sitting here and you're just like, I can relate to you. Yeah. And I can help you see God better because somebody helped me see God better. And God helped me see him better.
And that's where, to me, like, that whole thing pivots on what kind of Mark ended with, is the idea of transformation by the renewing of our mind. And I love that, I'm a recovering workspace pastor is what I call myself. But there's also, like, the Lord does call us to effort. I mean, there is a call to do.
Yeah.
Now we need to understand what the do part is. It's not what saves us. The do part is what glorifies the Lord and what points people to the Lord. And so he calls us to begin to make actions that allow for him to transform our mind. Woo. And so it's not that we are going to transform our own mind. It's that we are going to surrender to the fact that our mind is going to be transformed. I'll give you some examples.
That's good.
We're always being transformed one way or the other. Yep. You're never stagnant. You're always going one way or the other. And like, even in like my marriage with kids, it gets much harder for those of you that don't have kids. If you're married, it gets harder. And so, like, I've learned, like, I don't really know how to be a husband, like, in the past few years. It's like, man, I don't really know what that means. I'm trying to defend myself, or I try to do, be the right one, and man, I'll tell you, in the last 6, and I don't say that to say, like, we're on the brink of, like, we're good, but in the last, like, 6 to 8 months, man, I have found myself incredibly more times, that's good English, way more times pausing in a conversation or right before I'm about to say something or whatever, and I just feel like, okay, and this phrase of like, okay, Lord, I just you stop me and I'm going to try to stop. And so, like, that's for me my, like, current large transformation, and that carries over into other people too, but with Jenny, it's like, that's my thing right now that I think the Lord is really transforming me on. And I'm not doing the transformation, but I'm willing for the Lord to be transforming me. When I get those thoughts, I could ignore them. I'm not the one popping the thought in my head. The Lord is, but I'm accepting it and surrendering to it. And I think that's the big key. And I think transformation is really it's kind of abstract. You see practical implications, but the idea is pretty abstract. It's hard to grasp. The Lord does the transforming. We do the surrendering too. Yeah. We let it happen or we don't. Yeah. And so I think the Lord's always trying to transform us.
It's not work, it's effort.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You have to put in effort to be transformed. And that effort is to come to yourself and be like, all right, I'm going to trust
Getting out of your own way.
That's right. I'm going to put my thoughts where yours are. Yeah. And I'm going to start to try and sit with you in prayer. And let you shape my eyes how and I think gratitude is often one of those things that's just like I'm only grateful for when I get what I want. Mm-hmm. not, hey, I'm going to be grateful because, and that's, gosh, it's James 1:1. It's consider it pure joy.
Trials and temptations. Yeah,
it's Paul when he's talking
boastful
about
in our weaknesses, pride
exactly.
in the flesh.
I'm gonna
in the
and
thorn.
then, yes, all of those things they're pointing to, and Paul even being like, hey, I have figured out the secret to being content in every single circumstance. Rich, poor, working,
sick,
not
healthy,
working, sick, in jail, not in jail. Like I've found, and that is the moment where it's, and Paul wraps it up beautifully, I think at the end of 1 Corinthians 13, where he's just like, what remains? Faith, hope, and love. I have faith that I believe that the Lord is going to work things out for good, and He's going to work things out in a way that is going to take evil. And I'm going to believe that everything that He does for me, everything is done out of love,
because His ways are higher.
And that's going to produce me to continue to hope, so that when I might have gratitude day one, and that might be easy, be like, okay, this thing's happening to me, I'm going to find gratitude. But when you're day 15 and you're day 28 in that, and you're just like, the spark and the flame of having gratitude day one is gone. You continue, it'll continue to produce hope. It's going to be good. It's going to be used for good. And one day, that's the Psalms. One Psalm is, God, you're cursing me, you've forgotten me. Where in the world are you? The next Psalm, I'm going to praise the Lord for best. Everything and everything and everything. Yeah. So that when that hope when you do see breakthrough, and when it is easy to find gratitude, like that's the idea. Like, do you have gratitude both in the horrible moments and the easy moments? Yeah. When it's hard to be thankful and when it's easy to be thankful. Yeah.
And that's where it is those moments of, with me and Jenny or whatever, is this is what I want to do, right? I know the right thing to say or the right way to react or whatever, and then surrendering to what the Lord is calling us to. And it's not like I do it every time, but is you're surrendering, saying, you know better. Woo. Your ways are better, and I'm going to just trust that, even though right now I don't want to. Right now, I really think what I have to say is going to be really good.
Yep.
But I'll stop,
and wait.
And this is what Mark challenged, and I want to extend it to those of you that maybe listen to this that haven't seen the sermon, is 3 every day. Yep. It was 3. Are you pulling the picture to get it exactly? Every day it was.
Shout out Chelsea.
It was 3 things you're grateful for. And I know the third one was take one negative moment or one complaint and turn it into a gratitude. I don't remember the second bullet point, but
it was thank God daily for 3 specific things. Tell one person what you appreciate about them, and then turn one complaint each day
into a gratitude,
into a prayer of thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we want to extend that to you as well, if you're listening and didn't get to hear that or see it on live stream, because I think that what that practice is you're opening the door for the Lord to help transform your mind. You're saying it's not hard. These are not hard things, and I'm saying it to myself. It is not hard to take 5 minutes a day and do all 3 of those things. But I bet you what will happen if you're consistent and you do it for a while, all of a sudden you're going to start listing 7 or 8 things because they're going to be immediately in your head. You're going to tell 2 or 3 people compliments or, tell them what you're grateful for. All of a sudden, every complaint, you're going, you know what, thank you, God, even though I'm complaining. And all of a sudden, your mind is being transformed.
It is. It's a muscle.
And you don't even realize
it. It's weightlifting.
Yeah.
Why can you don't see this, you don't see the muscle change in your arm when you're lifting, but all of a sudden, week 2, you're able to lift a little bit more. You don't know what's happening.
6 months
you're
down
just
the road,
doing the work.
You look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're like, what happened?
You're just doing the work.
What
That's
happened?
Prayer. That's prayer and gratitude. You're rewiring your brain. You're strengthening these muscles that are just so atrophied. It's like, man, week 8, all of a sudden, you just changed. You don't know how you changed. You just did the practice, and you're opening yourself up to the Lord, and all of a sudden, He's just like,
and you're different.
Hey, you're different.
You're being transformed. VPA Sunday.
VPA Sunday this Sunday. If you don't know what that means, that's Village Project Africa.
If you don't know what it means, then you should be there.
Yep, that's right. So
you're going to hear from some people that went and that have gone before, and hear their experience and hear why we do what we do.
Those that have gone before.
Cloud of witnesses.
We who are about to die. Gladiator. Watch it. Be here for Village Project
or
Africa.
It's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to watch Gladiator. We'll see you back next week.
You're loved. There's nothing you can do about it.
Bye.
Peace.